Hello and welcome to a first look at Nitro Kid. I don't know if I've covered this game on the channel before. I think I did not. Let me think about it. Oh, okay, I remember. So this game just released October 18th, like an hour or two ago, honestly. And I remember I played this in the last Steam Next Fest. Not the one that just happened, but the one before it. And I recorded a video for it, and at the end of the recording realized that my recording froze on the title screen, and then did not re-record. That is what happened. So, I have not covered this game on the channel before, but I've been excited for it since the Next Fest that I played it in, because I think it's pretty cool. So this game is a deck builder with grid-based movement, very much in the vein of Fights in Tight Spaces. However, I think that if Fights in Tight Spaces is Slay the Spire, this game is Monster Train. Not in like the sense that, like in terms of impact or quality or whatever, I'm not comparing any game to Slay the Spire, but more so in terms of the difference in gameplay. They are both movement-based deck building games, but this game's movement is less of a focus and it's more focused on other aspects of gameplay. So, anyway, let me go through the usual here. I got the info page up on the left. I should open with saying the developers did send me a key for this game. I do like to make sure that I mention that somewhere. I think maybe I have to. You could probably report me if I don't, but then you gotta prove that I did it. Anyway, I did get a key from the devs for this game, and I like it a lot. So the big thing is the aesthetic. This game is very synthwave focused. The soundtrack is bumping, as you can hear. I'll be sure to give you some time to listen to it. Music goes pretty hard. Yeah, let me read the Steam page here. Yeah, it does say they have 30 synthwave tracks made just for the game. Other than that, the game is $18 right now, and it'll be $20 when the sale ends on October 25th. You can also pick up the soundtrack with the game for 21 bucks total, if you would like. The thing that I like to look for on the Steam page is controller support, but I have a controller, hold on. This is a less prepared, less professional first look than normal, but hey, you know what, I'm gonna plug in the controller, we're gonna see if it works. Hold. Let's see if anything happens. Okay, my controller is not doing anything. It's not 100% out. It might be one of those games where you have to open the game with the controller plugged in, but I don't see anything on the Steam page either, so it seems like there's no controller support to me. I just like to try to cover that if I think of it. Let me go through the options real quick. Pretty simple stuff. Languages, you got these languages. I'm not reading them to you. I'm past my language reading. I see the game probably has to reload. Options, you can turn off full screen, you can turn off VSync, you can limit your frame rate, change your resolution to any of the presets, and then audio sliders. As is often the case, I will give this an audio slider rating of... This one's like a 3, honestly. This is a really bad audio menu. It's nice, so no numbers is a lost point. And yeah, you know, at least there's 3 different types, you know, you get to change things individually, but all of that is pretty meaningless, doesn't take away from it at all. Let's get into the game itself, shall we? So, like I said, the game is a deck builder. I have played the tutorial. This would be my 3rd time, so I'm going to skip it. There are 3 characters. Lee is the first character that you will start with. I think you can also change, you can also get different starting relics and different starting skills as you play the game. And I'm pretty sure I played the playtest before this. I got early access to the game like 2 hours ago, and I played a run. And I played as this character, I believe. I don't remember what her name was. I know this guy's Jax, but I don't remember her name. Her mechanics are pretty fun. She has a whole different system from Lee, which is pretty slick. You got time, you can pause here if you want to read the little info blurb. Otherwise, let's get to it. You'll notice the aesthetic pretty quickly. I'm not going to read this, don't worry, I'll do all of the explaining. I know what this stuff means. So, at the start of your run, you get to choose 2 cards to add to your deck, which will, you know, it's sort of like Monster Train's random card start, but you get to pick 2 from a set of 5. So let's read what these do. Double the target's fragile. Does it tell me? It doesn't say what fragile is. I think I remember what fragile is. I think fragile is +1 damage from sources. However, doesn't look like it's as in-depth on explaining to you. If you right-click, it shows you what the card does, by the way, but it doesn't look like it's as in-depth on showing you what the keywords mean, which is always a shame. I feel like lowering the barrier to entry for new players is a huge challenge in deck builders, so... Oh, well, over here, fragile. Here we go. This one says fragile. Fragile is added to all attack damage received and decreases by 1 at the end of turn. Okay, so this is like stacking up damage and then clocking them. It's like a debuff that makes them take 1 per stack. Not too crazy. Add a Harry card. 3 damage. Add a Harry card. Cost down, right? So the cost down means that when you play another card while this card is in your hand, the cost of this card goes down by 1. Flow? I see. So it's probably like you build around having a bunch of 0 cost cards so that flow works. Double adjacent targets burn. When an enemy dies, apply 3 fragile to all enemies. Skills, attacks, I don't think you need me to explain. Mods are powers. Single use, they consume, and they do their effect forever. I'm gonna go, or for the rest of the run, I should say, or for the rest of the combat, I should say. I'm gonna take Flow and Harry. Now, I want to take a look at the deck. Right, so I'll go over it when we get into combat, actually. Mapping is pretty straightforward. So the way that it works is enemies. So don't worry, I'll explain. Enemies will start the combat. They'll declare their attack. When you go to step near them, you'll see some of them, or I've seen most of them, have this effect, this little spinning or arrow. What this means is this guy will turn towards me if I move here. Or here, this guy will turn towards me. Or, well, this one's kind of in the corner, but whatever. The goal of each mission you can see in the top left. This one is to clear the room. Most of them are clear the room, some of them are just kill one specific enemy. The faster you finish, i.e. the less turns it takes, the better your reward is. You get more money, basically. Top left is our relics. When you enter a fight, gain 3 shield. When you defeat an enemy, add a shift card to your hand. Move 1 tile in any direction. Okay, cool. Solid. So we can't see what we're going to draw, but it'll make a lot of sense. I'm probably just going to drop right in here. So, bottom left panel, health, shield. Shield gets halved. It doesn't completely go away. It goes down by half at the start of your next turn. And I believe it is rounded. So if you're at 1, it goes to 0. Let me see what's important to talk about here, because there's a lot to look at. I guess let's just go left to right. So your deck comes with these encore cards, like this one, Step. And what this means is, first of all, every time you play another card while this is in your hand, the cost of this card goes up by 1, and Encore means that 1 Encore card is drawn from your deck at the start of each turn, guaranteed. So we drew 5 cards plus our 1 Encore card. So this is the way that they let you get movement consistently, basically. But other than that, it's the straightforward, nothing crazy. 3 energy per turn, draw 5. And yeah, numbers are a lot lower in this game, especially block. You get 2 block is your base block and 5 damage. Now, other stuff worth noting, cards have 2 types, ranged and melee. The indicator is the sword icon on this card versus the bow icon on solar plexus. So this melee card can only be played adjacent. The solar plexus card could be played on an enemy further away, and then this card says advance, so you move up to the enemy when you do it. There's also single target and multi-target, so punch here is a multi-target. You can tell that by the 3 people, versus solar plexus, which is a single target. You can tell that by the 1 person on the left. Multi-target hits everyone in range, single target hits just the target you're hitting. And last thing is the augments. So the augments are, you can use them as much as you want up to the charge number. So I have 4 of them. I could use all 4 of this in this turn if I wanted to move one in any direction 4 times. And then you recharge them, not at the end of combat. They are limited use, but you recharge them from events in the map or spend them at events in the map. All right, you got it all? That's your basic primer. Now I'm gonna start playing the video game. So I'm just gonna punch. So this is my, when you defeat an enemy at a shift, I can move one in any direction. Virtual is ethereal or whatever, what have you. That card goes away if you don't play it. A common mechanic. I was really hoping that this enemy would walk up to me here. So whenever another card is played, the cost of this Harry goes down by 1. So I'm gonna take a step over here to just play the card for free. For what it's worth, anyway. I have found that the builds in this game seem to get pretty wacky pretty quickly. I may as well step up to him. We get a new Harry. Maybe I can find lethal and get the kill a turn sooner even. How about that? Yeah, beat the room in 2 turns and you get $38. I think they give you a little indicator of how you did. Ace seems strong. At the end of the combat, you get your money reward and then you get your card reward. You can skip them, you don't get anything for skipping them. Let's see what we got here. Reduce all burn damage received by 2. This card does not consume. Ah. Okay. So this character has cards that add burn to himself. Burn is just like poison, take damage, and then tick down. You're typical. So you can take this and then build a bunch of burn and be immune to it. I'm not going to build towards this. I want to build towards doing these multi-hits and playing a bunch of free cards, which I think this character has. So I'm going to take this Palm Strike. The map expands after this. This is like a little intro area. The jumbled wires and unlabeled switches that didn't pique your interest, the White Heart energy beam streaking into the sky, and the human-sized glass chamber certainly do the trick. It's not time to make a bad decision. Lose 3 max HP for an epic card. Lose 2 max HP for a random patch. Patch is what they call relics. Or step in and gain 3 max HP. I'll take a random epic card, I'm down. Gain Find Weakness. See what that does. At the start of your turn, add 1 Analyze card to your hand. Oh, that sounds excellent. Apply to fragile to adjacent enemies. That seems like it synergizes exactly with what I'm playing. And then a shop. What we got? Apply 2 stun. Stun enemies are inactive. Damaging an enemy reduces their stun by 1. So this is basically, you cancel an enemy's attack as long as you don't hit them twice. I see. Move to the opposite side of an adjacent target, gain 2 shield. Swap position with an adjacent target. Gain 3 strength until end of turn. You can also upgrade your relics. So we can get 5 shield at the start of the fight instead of 3. I'm down for that. That seems pretty solid, considering that is like a full card play. Push kick is good. The ability to move enemies, I think, is strong. I'm going to play Power Dose here and leave. Okay, so now it's going to open up. The game is broken into 2 acts, from what I can tell. This is Act 1, and then there's another act after this boss. We'll probably just cover Act 1 in this video, but nonetheless, you can see which boss you have to fight. So to fight the boss, you don't have to clear the whole act. We get to pick our path however we want, and we can jump around. We have to save the 2 kids. The whole aesthetic of this game is saving these Nitro Kids. That's the name. We have to save the 2 kids, and we have to unlock a path to the elevator, which means we have to go through to the elevator. So we have to go all the way through this top middle path and 2 through the bottom path. I will probably clear the whole act, but you know. Now, one thing that I want to address, because I have not found it yet, this doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, but I have not found it yet, is I'm not sure that this game has an ascension mode. Well, I wanted to, maybe I will clear a whole run. I should have checked it anyway. Yeah, when I finished the playtest run that I did not get like an ascension progression unlocked thing. So I'm not sure if there is or is not Ascension. I would be surprised because deck builders in current era, they all have it, but I'm not 100% sure. You know what I'll do? I'll get to where I would stop this video, and then I will finish this run off camera, and then I will I'll just pause, finish the run, and then resume recording, and you can see the wrap up. That sounds good to me. Okay, so the other thing you can do in these that I haven't been doing is you can look at the enemies by hovering over them on the right and see what their attack is. So like the shotgun yuppie here, his attack is a ranged attack that does 6, and his attack also pushes you, dealing 3 extra damage if you get pushed into the wall. Immovable. When this enemy attacks, gain 2 burn after this enemy's turn. Okay, so we're gonna kill the safety officer first. Definitely. I believe that, yeah, Find Weakness is going to do nothing for me on the start of the turn. The outset here, I should say. So, what, I guess I dropped in here and I'm just gonna step away. Cornering yourself is risky, but, you know, energy doesn't carry over, so we may as well take the block. I don't think it's all that risky to corner myself because it is all, I was gonna say it's all ranged enemies, but here he is right on top of me. Anyway, other things that you should know. On the bottom left is also where you'll see your buffs and debuffs. Your debuffs will appear in your little panel here if I ever take any, and then your buffs will be in a little excess buff bar here. Okay, am I gonna move? I can actually move out of this, but they will just follow me. I'm pretty sure I'm okay here though, actually. I could double move as well to get out. Let's hit an Analyze to begin with. And then a Power Dose to get 3 strength. And now this will do, yeah. The preview is pretty close to right, but you have to do a little bit of math yourself. It'll show you, like this preview is correct, but a lot of times I won't know how much a card is going to do. For example, I would expect this to do 12 baseline, but it's actually doing 16. 16? Yeah, 16, because they're both too fragile. Yeah, so it's not, it just takes a little getting used to. This character also has, if you're at max HP, increase it by 1. Interesting. So I do take quite a bit of damage here. I'm down to just move twice. Oh, you can only use it once per turn. Okay, my mistake. I believe the turn order is top to bottom though. So this guy's gonna hit me for 6 and then it's gonna push me out of the way of the other attack. Indeed, very cool. Oh yeah, you can see the buff here, by the way, my strength. There it is. The environment also does exist. Like this barrel is here, and if I blow it up, it does damage to adjacent targets, including myself. Now, that's a problem because I'm actually standing next to the barrel, so let's just step out of the way of that. Good for the Harry as well. I crush here with these punches. I should have analyzed first, definitely, but it's fine. Do you move towards me? He does, he would turn. I was gonna say I could walk up, analyze Harry, but I would just take damage. There's no reason to. Okay. That's fine. I could like spend one of my these. What are they called? I'm gonna call them augments, but I don't think that's what they're actually called. Gain some strength, and we should crush now. Palm Strike's looking very strong, but let's not get hit for no reason. Although I think I already did. I'd have to spend this Mercury to move out of the way, right? That's okay. I made a mistake. I'll take 2. It's a learning process. So far, so overall, I have to say I've been feeling more into deck builders as a whole lately. You know, I was a little burnt out for a while, and I was kind of just taking it easy, but I've been getting back into them, and this game is fun. I've been looking forward to it for a while. My initial impression is this game is very fun. Definitely worth a look if you're interested, but I'll save it all for the end. Add a jab card to your hand. Deal 4 damage, ignores fragile. That's fine. This is the card I'm looking for, I think. I'm looking for jab to make my cost down cards cheaper. Chain is another keyword here real quick. Chain is, this will hit anyone that is adjacent to the main target as well. So this does 3 and applies 5 burn to everyone and everyone adjacent, I believe. It chains through them, if you will. I'm gonna go to this top path. I don't really want to go to the shop without any money. So let's go up here. Crystal lets you upgrade or heal. I will be upgrading. And so we'll look at heal 9 at a Harry plus. Okay. How about this one? Costs 4. Guarded Strike gives you Jab plus. This gives 5. It does find weakness. Add Analyze plus. I was gonna take this if it made it cheaper, but it doesn't. Meditate goes to 0 cost. That's pretty good, actually. I think making Meditate better is good for me. Let's go through some events. I'm not gonna read all of this out. I'll give you a second to read it yourself while I analyze this stuff. But that's a lot of reading, you know? What is this, Read Legacy 2? Increase current and max HP by 3. Choose a card, gain $30. I'll take the card. Flow, Square Up, or Palm Strike. I like Square Up here. It's a shame that Jab doesn't synergize with Fragile, but I also think it would be a little crazy, so I'm playing these for these flow cards. Check out the bin. Lose 1 HP, transform a card. Sure. Transform a card, why not? Let's get rid of a punch. What did that become? At the start of your turn, add a Jab card to your hand. Wow, that is really good. Exactly what I want. We can get money, health, or a charge for our infusion. Heal 10. I think heal 10 is best here because it means that I can use Meditate to gain a max HP in the next combat. Alright, so we're at an elite enemy here. As I said earlier... Oh my god, look at this. Okay, auto attack. Yeah, I'm aware. As I said earlier, there are some missions don't force you to kill everyone. I can just kill the boss, the professor. So he attacks absolutely everywhere, it appears. Interesting. This enemy has the auto attack, so if anyone moves or plays a card on this tile, he strikes. This does apply to the enemies as well. But, you know. So I'm gonna start over here and I'm actually just gonna fight these enemies. Although I should make sure I can kill this enemy, the shotgun yuppie, otherwise he's gonna shoot me into the attack range of the other guy. Actually, I guess it's good. I wish I could say I planned this, but I did not. We will step for our flow. Apply 2 weak. Subtract damage from the enemy's attack, of course. I'll Palm Strike here. I was hoping to get flow to a playable state, but alas. This is a push, right? Yeah, so I should block. And I'll take a little bit. It's a shame. I was hopeful that I had the way here, but let's do 5. Yeah, it's a shame. I was hoping to get the max HP, but I couldn't quite swing it. As it turns out, I should have played slightly differently. Is he not gonna approach me? Oh, he declares his attack tiles. I see. I see how this works. Okay. So I'm gonna step over here. Remember, we get a movement card if we kill an enemy. So I'm going to kill this guy this turn, I think, because these do 4, right? The jabs. I guess we'll find out. It deals 4. So we punch this guy down. Jab him down, I suppose, and then we can step out of the way of the professor's attack. This is a cool fight. I do eventually have to just bite the bullet, I think, and get on him. What? No better time, huh? I believe if you move away, yeah, move away from the auto attack and it's not a problem. Play Find Weakness, and then we do get to play the Harry. I think it's Jab, Harry, Punch, I guess. Nothing too exciting, really. Probably just gonna ignore the auto attack 1 damage guy. I'll just keep moving out of his way, is my plan. Eventually he should catch up to me, but yeah, a shame. Oh! Oh, okay, so you still get the max HP. If you heal to full health, you get the max HP. Is there a consumed pile that I can look at? It doesn't look like there is. Okay, that's fine. The game is definitely missing on some of the information points, no doubt. Like, it definitely, maybe I'm just missing it myself, maybe it's me. I do not believe it's me. I don't think I'm missing the information, but it is possible, right? So I don't want to just say, oh, well, they should do a better job of showing me the information if I'm missing it. But I also think it's a fair criticism if I can't find it easily to say it would be good for this to be more clearly communicated to me. But overall, I feel like it's the sort of thing where you get over it, more or less. Yeah, we'll just hit him with the 2 weak, because 2 weak is going to lower his damage as well. Eventually you learn, basically. I'm always hopeful that deck builders will do a good job of explaining things, but it's not always the case, you know? And it's fine. Like I said, it's fine. I'll learn. I think it's, yeah, it's specifically attack cards. Sorry, I said it was any card, it's attack cards that gets him to attack. See? He does not hit me. Cool. You found new intel, good job. You can read it from the codex in the main menu. Alright. Cinder Strider. Move to an adjacent tile and gain 2 burn. Whenever you move, add a jab card to your hand. Reduce all burn damage. I don't know if another 2-cost mod is really what I'm after here. There's got to be a point where it's too many 2-cost powers, I think. I'm gonna skip it. The start of your 4th turn, heal 2 HP, draw 2 cards, cook an empty infusion, spend $100 and replace it with a random new infusion, or when you use an infusion, heal 1. In terms of healing, the best card is definitely Vulture. I'll take that, yeah. That's fine. Okay, so now we have a path to the boss. I just have to go save the kids now. There's a lot of enemies. Wow. After this enemy's turn, he gains 1 strength, and then this guy has chase. When you move or like land, he will move towards you. Is his mechanic. He also moves when you move, like I said. Okay, I'm just gonna duke it out with this enemy, the desk jockey. The slugger is definitely the highest difficulty enemy, but if I drop in anywhere, I think he's a bit of an issue. Let's apply... I have no fragile cards. Okay, let's see what we draw here. Solar Plexus. What a shame. Heal 4. I am a little worried about losing all my block, but, you know. This is definitely a slow burn of a deck, it feels like. The character that I played before, she seemed very strong. She had a whole lot of mechanics that made her do a ridiculous amount of damage, which was enjoyable. I'm not saying Lee feels weak, but he definitely doesn't feel as strong from the get-go as the character I played before. I'm gonna hit him with the punch here. I can also move out of the way of this attack, but I don't know if I want to. Do I heal? 5 HP. Okay, I'm actually gonna move out of the way. The problem is that I'm letting this guy get closer to me, but I'm gonna move because if I draw the heal card, I gain 1 max HP now. Yeah, he's here. Look at that. If I had taken 1, I wouldn't have gotten that HP. No chance that I move here. Definitely just gonna finish off the desk jockey. If I can. I think I can. Is it... I play block? I can afford to play block, actually. And then... jab... punch. That's fine. This guy turns. Every enemy seems to turn in this game. I haven't encountered an enemy that did not turn. So... it seems to be a pretty safe bet. Go ahead and step over here. I just want you want to play the card for the cost down. I feel. Find weakness. It's a shame that I have to play it, but parry there. We square up and I get actually a pretty good amount out of this, right? Because we get the flow, parry again, jab, and palm strike. And then if I am so inclined, actually no, so when he's on you, once they reach you, you are getting hit. It's just how it goes. Because if I move, he's still gonna chase me. You know what? Next combat I will play with the, or I will shut up and I'll turn the music up as well. I do like to do that for games where there's a focus on the aesthetic like this. Jab is impacted by strength, it appears. 5 turns. It's interesting because I get less money, but having fights go longer is better for this healing effect. Deal 8 damage, add 1 jab card to your hand for each target hit. Deal 5 damage, push, advance, consume. This card seems cool. I don't know if it's actually good at 3 energy, but it seems cool. We've saved a child. They give us this infusion. So we either get a new infusion or we get to recharge our old infusion. Revolve fragile and gain 4 shield? Sure. You can have up to 2 infusions. Alright, for this combat I'll shut up and I'll let you jam to the music in 1 moment. Crank it up to like here. I'll be back after this combat. The soundtrack kind of bangs. I'm gonna leave it up a little bit. I'll leave it like here. The soundtrack kind of goes. I beat the room in 4 turns. Probably ideal. I choose 1 0-cost card in your drop out, put it in your hand. Do I have any 0-cost cards? I meditate. Nah. Like, fragile stacking doesn't seem that good since I'm playing around jab, and jab does not synergize with fragile. So I'm gonna grab square up here. Start of each boss fight, add 1 copy of a card in your drop pile to your hand. Start of each fight, add a fly card to your hand. Draw 2 cards, add 2 fly cards to your discard pile. Whenever you play a bug card, gain 1 strength until end of turn. This seems really good. Draw 2 and then later draw even more? Alright, I'm gonna power through the rest of this now. If you don't mind. Video link, you know? Move to the opposite side of adjacent target. All OIP. Oh, this is Claw. Oh, 1-inch punch, I see. Deal 5 damage, fragile modifies 3x. Okay, I'm just gonna upgrade 2 fly cards? That seems so good. And let's remove a punch. And carry on. I'm not gonna have enough to buy anything interesting at this shop. I can buy deal 5, gain 2. No, I'm okay. I'll grab an upgrade. I don't need to heal, obviously. Deal 8 damage, add 2 jabs. Jab plus, analyze plus. I'm down for flurry plus. And then we'll save our other kid. We can either get gain a strength and apply. Oh, this seems so good. Gain a strength, apply 2, weak to enemies. Yeah. So I will overwrite the move 1 in any direction for this, because that seems excellent. Alright, and let's go see the boss. It's a big sword. Okay, what's he do? He chases me, and when you play a skill card, he gains a strength. Oh god, it's Gremlin Knob. Okay. So, I'm gonna land here. This seems right to me, because now I'm just right in the middle, and I can get good value out of Flurry, among other things. Goal here is to kill the multi-hit enemy. I could also, you know what seems good here, actually? Oh, I don't have the energy. What I'd like to do is I'd like to play Flurry and then step out of the way. But I don't think that's very doable. Maybe I draw... Okay. Gain a strength and apply 2 weak. Fine. I think it's best to play this slower. This attack doesn't push. Yeah, this attack now, my opponent is doing 0, so I'm taking nothing here. We can go Harry. And then if I square up, I can play Harry again. It's definitely getting there, the Harry. I was a little unsure. I thought it was kind of bad, but it's definitely starting to make it somewhere. Hit me for 1? Huh. Weird. Can I bait him forward? Kind of. I'm gonna move in here. There's not a good reason to stay. Oh, remember, he gains strength when I play a skill card. Oh, that's permanent strength. Wow. That's kind of brutal. Strange. But okay. Is that really permanent strength? I've just made this guy a menace? Oh my. Okay. If I go here, he'll move up and meet me. I don't have the move 1 get out of jail free card I used to have. Oh, I can play... I can jump in with Solar Plexus maybe. Let's see what the draw is. Got flow. I can jump in with Solar Plexus and then jump out. I think I can do this. Yeah, you can see where he'll move. So if I move with shift, he won't actually follow in a way that can hit me. You see this? I don't know why, because it feels like he should just move forward and swing on me, but I'm not gonna complain. That's fine with me. He's here. These bugs are really good for me. Oh, I see. So there's a hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's 10. So eventually, but even in the worst case, it just replaces itself. So it's still good. I don't have an out here. I am gonna get clobbered, it looks like. But I might have enough to kill with all these bugs. Might just be able to harry my way through. Not quite. Main force shield. My health does stay, or rather heal. Do I get one or two? I get one. Okay. My health heals at the end of this, so I don't mind taking the hit here. 15, we'll get it back. So the downside of bug is you eventually overflow your hand, I guess, but it doesn't seem that bad. Acquired some intel, level clear, and we get an epic card. Teleport to any free tile, gain 3 energy, cost down, consume. Oh, that's so good for our deck. You gain a strength up to carry a random attack card in your hand until this combat ends. That's also really good. There's also just do 20 to all adjacent enemies. I think Transcendence is what I want here. With all this card draw I have, this seems really good. Every 6th skill card played draws 1 card. Attacks that cost 0 energy do 2 extra. Remove 3 weak, 3 fragile, 3 burn from yourself. I'll take Angry Frog. Okay. And yeah, now this is the end. This is the second act. And then after this, you're done. What I'm going to do is, because I don't want this video to be an hour and a half, this is way too long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here, I'm going to finish the run, and I will come back and I will show you the end of run screen, because I think it's actually really important to see what progression is like in a game like this, and I don't know for sure because I only saw the playtest. So I'll be back momentarily. Hello, I am back. I have just finished the boss. So let's see what we get here. I am pretty sure there is no more. If there is more, I will just pause again and play through, but I'm pretty sure this should be the end. But it does let you pick a card, which always kind of... It has surprised me every time. I'm going to take a stop hit here, and I'm going to take every 10th attack deals double damage. I'm pretty sure that's the end. It's not the end. I've been had. Wow. Okay, so there's a third act. So the playtest only went through 2. Well, I'll be back momentarily once again. I'm glad I recorded this. I'm very shocked. I'll be back. Hey, I have not finished the run yet. However, I think what I've been thinking about it while doing these, and I decided that I want to show off one of these combats towards the end, because I feel like showing this off is also good for me and for you to understand what we're doing here. Because I feel like the run was a little lackluster at the start, but it has gotten pretty wacky. So let me go through what I have now. I don't know where I left off, to be honest with you, but I have this at the start of each fight: add 2 fly cards to your hand, and then I have attacks that cost 0 energy do 3 extra. Defeating an enemy gives you 1 energy. Every 6th skill draws a card, and every 10th attack deals double damage. And so this is an elite fight in the third act here. The Hornet. She looks cool. When this enemy attacks, 1 bug card in your deck is upgraded. Oh, that's good for me, actually. As this enemy's turn, put 3 bug cards in your hand. On card played, this enemy does 1 damage to you. Okay. So I'm gonna drop in right here. I think what I want is I want multiple enemies next to me. Now, every time I play a card, I'm gonna get hit for 1, it says, which actually might be really bad for me. Yeah, okay, this is gonna actually be pretty brutal, but we'll play around it nonetheless, as best we can. Just gotta watch my armor here. Yeah, the bugs are gonna be... My build is pretty good, except for the fact that I'm getting farmed by these bugs. Or rather, I'm gonna get farmed by this enemy's effect, I guess I should say. It's okay, I can probably just heal it back after the fact. I'm actually gonna hit my... This one is remove all fragile and gain force shield, so I'm gonna hit this. And then we'll do solar plexus here. This wasn't a great turn 1, and it still looked pretty good, I think. No matter where I move, she will hit me. This dude is just blasting this iron block over here. What the hell? What do we get here? Oh no, not fly. Anything but that. No, please. Anyway, Spider is this one is like, it's rough because it takes your other Encore card away from you. But I guess it gets added to your hand because you only draw one Encore per turn. So if you don't play it, you'll start to draw that instead of the one you actually want. Oh yeah, it also costs to play. This turn ends up being okay, I think. I just have to min-max my blocking where I can here. Yeah, I picked up this card, deal 8 damage, gain 2 energy, draw 3, and advance, which seems really good. Yeah, I guess I just tank it here. Oh, my hand is full. That's the problem. It really starts to pop off once I get to Harry, though, and once I draw this card, because then this starts pushing out a very high amount of damage, I'm noticing. Should have led with this Discombobulator. I probably could have taken a little less, but nonetheless. Like, the deck is now flowing pretty well. I'm moving around a lot more, and I'm fighting enemies a lot more. So I wanted to show you off a combat like this real quick, just to give you some more. This video is like, it's a little more disjointed than other first looks, but I'm kind of just winging it as I go. Deck builders are hard to condense down into 20 minutes, so, you know. You can bear with me. Deal 8 damage and add a jab. And when you add a card, gain $5. I think I'll take after defeating an enemy, remove 3 of each debuff. Okay, now I'm going to pause and I will come back at the end screen, whenever that is. But I wanted to show off what feels like later game combat while I'm at it. Hello, okay, I'm back for real. I finished the run. It is 3 acts confirmed. Let us go through the stats and such now with you. I don't know what we're gonna see here, but again, I think that I feel like sometimes I don't give these deck builders the full picture unless I get through a full run and we get to see all of the important stuff. So we can look at unlocks. So we got a new card to start the game with here, Comet Ball. Got a new character, Jax. And is that it? He appears to be a boxer. That is it. Now here's the big question. Ah, here it is. There is an ascension mechanic. Security mode. Alright. I don't know how hard it is, and I don't know how high it goes, but here it is. There is an ascension mode. It's called security mode. That's what I wanted to see. That's what we were here for. That's why I'm still recording and this video didn't end 15 minutes ago. Okay. So yeah, that's a good overview. I think this game is really cool. I don't know how hard it'll get on higher difficulties, but aesthetically it's great. There's a story in the backdrop, which I think is cool. I have vaguely paid attention to it. The soundtrack is extremely good. And yeah, the loadouts to start your run seem fun to customize your gameplay. I am in on this. Yeah, I'm in on this. So, yeah. I think that's everything I have to tell you. I think that this game is definitely worth a shot. Give it a look for yourself. Yeah, no, nothing else. I was going to say something else, but it left me as soon as I started. Thank you for watching. That's what I wanted to say. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave me a like. Subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.